What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, 4 division world champion, Mexican superstar boxer, who is now the unified super middleweight WBC, WBA, WBO, Ring Magazine super middleweight world champion, superstar boxer Saul Canelo Alvarez. He gets an 8th round stoppage victory over then undefeated 2 division WBO super middleweight world champion British superstar boxer Billy Joe Saunders. With that said, it's widely uh, widely, you know, it's widely being reported that Canelo Alvarez will be facing undefeated IBF super middleweight world champion American superstar boxer Caleb Sweet Hands Plant in his next fight. With that said, it's widely being speculated that that is going to be the next fight for Saul Canelo Alvarez. With that said, a lot of people wanted to see Jermall Charlo, undefeated 2 division world champion, currently the WBC reigning middleweight world champion, Jermall Lions Only Charlo, superstar boxer, and Canelo Alvarez. Okay, Jermall Charlo became Canelo Alvarez mandatory challenger at 160, and Canelo Alvarez, according to the WBC, he petitioned to maneuver around that fight, and he asked to be franchised. Caleb Plant, 21 wins, no losses, 12 wins by way of knockout. He stands at 6'1" with a 74-inch arm reach. He's 28 years of age. He recently fought against Caleb Truitt. That was January 30th. He got a unanimous decision victory. With that said, Caleb Plant, he responded to the victory for Canelo Alvarez tonight. And Caleb Plant, he stated that he will not be broken. Billy Joe Saunders, he suffered a broken right orbital bone, according to the reports tonight. Okay. Caleb Plant, he had this to say: he said, quote, "You can't break a poor boy's chin. That's warrior's code. There are things I fear, but I put it on my last breath and soul that men aren't one of them." So he's essentially responding and saying that he will not fold or falter when it comes to Canelo Alvarez. Okay. And then you have Jermall Lions Only Charlo. He responded to Canelo Alvarez's victory. He said, "Never mind the money, never mind the fame, never mind the networks. I'll lose my title and go up to 168, make the fight happen now. Boxing needs to see this." Okay. Now we know this fight took place in Arlington, Texas, in AT&T Stadium and Cowboy Stadium. Obviously Jermall Charlo, he's from Houston, Texas, but he's from the Texas area. Now, Jermall Charlo, he recently stated when he was called out by 2-time super middleweight WBC Mexican superstar, undefeated world champion, David Benavidez, he stated that he is not super middleweight. He's a middleweight, okay? He wasn't going up to 160. And now that Canelo Alvarez got this victory, according to reports, it is 73,000 fans in attendance. That is huge in an indoor stadium for a boxing event. That's massive, and according to these reports, this fight was very successful as far as the attendance and live gate, things of that nature. Now, we still yet to see all the numbers and things of that nature. But Jermall Charlo, he stated he wasn't going up to 168. Now he's saying he'll go up to 168 for a fight with Canelo Alvarez, okay? Now, Canelo Alvarez, as I stated, he has plans to become undisputed showdown with Caleb Plant, okay? Billy Joe Saunders is not as big as Caleb Plant. Billy Joe Saunders is 5'11" with a 71-inch arm reach. Canelo Alvarez is 5'8" with a 70-inch arm reach. Caleb Plant is 6'1" with a 74-inch arm reach. Okay, so he has extremely long arms. He has power in both hands. He's very accurate with his punches, and ultimately he has very quick feet, educated feet. Now, ultimately, he's going to have to weather the onslaught that Canelo Alvarez is going to dish out, because he's going to be very aggressive. He's going to push the fight forward. He's very, he puts a lot of pressure on his opponents, and you have to weather that, But we saw tonight, Billy Joe Saunders, he gave Canelo Alvarez trouble with his movement when he did utilize it. To my surprise, Billy Joe Saunders, a lot of the fight, he stood right in front of Canelo Alvarez, a lot of times with his hands at his side, okay? And he seemed very tentative. He was backing up on a straight line, giving Canelo and ducking into the ropes, giving Canelo Alvarez opportunities, to be able to be hit and have success. Ultimately, he kept ducking to his right. He kept leaning to his right, and Canelo Alvarez was throwing punches, hooks, and uppercuts with his left uppercut and his left hooks because Billy Joe Saunders, he kept leaning and ducking to his right, leaning and ducking to his right. And ultimately, he paid the ultimate price, leaning and ducking to his right, and he broke his orbital bone. Okay. So that ended the fight. I personally had the fight 4-4 going into the ninth round. I gave Canelo Alvarez the eighth round big because he hurt Billy Joe Saunders. And from that moment forward, Billy Joe Saunders, he did not get up off his stool. Now, Jermall Charlo, 6 feet tall with a 74-inch arm reach as well. Okay. So they're much bigger. They will have Caleb Plant is going to have a 4-inch height advantage over Canelo Alvarez and a 4-inch arm reach advantage over Canelo Alvarez. And ultimately, he has quick feet. Jermall Charlo, he's going to have a 3-inch height advantage over Canelo Alvarez, and he's going to have a 4-inch arm reach advantage over Canelo Alvarez. And ultimately, the key for both guys is their jab, because we saw tonight Billy Joe Saunders' jab was giving Canelo Alvarez problems when he used it. Now, obviously, Canelo Alvarez has great timing and great counter punch ability. So when he was countering Billy Joe Saunders, I believe that made him hesitant, okay? And Canelo Alvarez was throwing big left hooks to the body on Billy Joe Saunders as well. Billy Joe Saunders' left hand seemed to be null and void, okay? He had no power on his left hand, but his jab was flicking, he was having success with his movement and his jab, and at times he would throw a combination here and there, but he wasn't committed to it. So with that stated, I believe that Caleb Plant and I believe that Jermall Charlo, they see things in Canelo Alvarez tonight that they feel like, they can have success with and they can ultimately exploit and they can win the fight. So now Jermall Charlo is saying that he'll go up to 168 for the Canelo Alvarez fight. As I stated that Jermall Charlo, if offered the fight with Canelo Alvarez, he would be willing to go up to 168. Although when it came to David Benavidez, he stated he's not a super middleweight, he's a middleweight. Why would he go up to fight David Benavidez? Ultimately, Canelo Alvarez, he represents a huge, huge fight, okay? 73,000 fans in attendance tonight. That speaks volumes. So, they looked at the fight and they said to themselves, listen, it's a big fight. But ultimately, I believe that Canelo Alvarez, he's not going to choose Jermall Charlo. I believe that he's going to choose Caleb Plant, as it's an undisputed match for Canelo Alvarez, and he feels like it's very winnable. He wants to become the first undisputed four major sanctioned belt holder at super middleweight at 168. And he'll be the first Mexican boxer undisputed. So he wants to hold all 4 major sanctioned belts, okay? So he's looking to create history, okay? So with that said, obviously I believe that the fight he's going to choose is Caleb Plant. Now, Caleb Plant, he has all the skill set. He has all the technical ability. He has all the tools to be successful and beat Canelo Alvarez if he, ultimately can follow out the game plan, stay disciplined, stay on the outside, use his jab, and be very active, okay? And counter Canelo Alvarez and jab to the solar plex also will give Canelo Alvarez issues, okay? Tonight, Billy Joe Saunders, he had no power, to my surprise, on his left hand. Now, I thought he had respectable power. Tonight, his left hand just seemed to be null and void, okay? He had no power on it. He wasn't throwing it with conviction. And, it just seemed not to have any power on it. And he was playing around, hands at his side. He's just too much showmanship. With that said, I believe that Caleb Plant, his ability to box, his ability to be mobile, his jab, his combinations, I believe that will give Canelo Alvarez lots and lots and lots of trouble, okay? And he has the tools to beat him. But he have the mental fortitude to follow through and deal with the onslaught and the consistent pressure. Canelo Alvarez stayed consistent all the way across the board throughout his career. Okay, he has a poker face. He never really he never shows that he's hurt. Even if he is, he has a granite chin, and he's very consistent. He puts his combinations together beautifully. He has very quick hands and he has power. So, and he has a high ring IQ. He understands ring generalship. So that's a key for Canelo Alvarez. That makes up for his slow feet And so you can outbox Canelo Alvarez if you utilize the ring properly and utilize your jab and stay very active. Because when you utilize your jab, yeah, at times he does counter you, but Canelo Alvarez could be, he could keep, he could show that he don't want to let his hands go at times as well. You could occupy him by, forcing him back. So, I believe that Caleb Plant has the tools to follow through and beat Canelo Alvarez, but I don't know if he will beat Canelo Alvarez. Jermall Charlo, I don't believe he's going to give him the opportunity. So maybe if Canelo Alvarez beat Caleb Plant, maybe he'll give Jermall Charlo an opportunity. We got to see how it plays out. But now Jermall Charlo, he's opened up and he stated that he wanted to come to 168. Now Canelo Alvarez chooses Caleb Plant. Well, that's going to open the door for David Benavidez and Jermall Charlo once again. But make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed? Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Hit the bell icon to get all the new notification. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Raw. Make sure you like your shitty videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.